Meltzer, Ricochet, AJ Styles,
Seth freaking Rollins, and this is BrettO Live on YouTube.
What is going on, guys? BrettO Live back with another video, and today we have the Weekend Review, episode 123. This is where we go over Raw and Smackdown in a set-up style, 123 episodes. Feel free to go on back, watch the 122 episodes that you haven't seen. But before you do that, watch this one. But before you do that, subscribe to the channel. 75% of the viewers that watch BrettO Live aren't subscribed, so feel free to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new video. But without further ado, we are going to get into Monday Night Raw first. Moving into the opening match, or should I say the opening segment, of course, Riddle still trying to become the tag team again, with Randy Orton becoming RK Bro. In the beginning of the show, Randy Orton wasn't having it. He was like, no, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. But then it turned into our opening match. It was Matt Riddle versus AJ Styles one-on-one, and before the match, Randy Orton ditched Riddle. He's like, you know what? I'm not having this. I ain't going to stay on ringside for you. But AJ Styles did have the Ultimate Colossus Omos in his corner, and that was the ultimate demise of Riddle. Riddle got distracted just by almost walking in front of him. He was going for the floating bro, and then AJ Styles was able to turn it around 1, 2, 3 and pick up the victory. And hope was looking very bleak for RK Bro, but then later in the show, it was Omos versus Randy Orton one-on-one. And then Riddle, he come down because AJ Styles was messing around on ringside. And then it turned into a disqualification. Of course, I wasn't expecting a winner with that. AJ Styles, I believe, disqualified the match when it comes to winners, but then after that, Riddle and Randy Orton reunited, they hugged it out, and then Riddle challenged AJ Styles and Omos to a SummerSlam match for the Raw Tag Team Championships, which I'm super freaking hyped for. That should be a fun match, and I'm really hoping that Randy Orton and Matt Riddle can pick it up. I really freaking hope they can. Over here, oh my gosh, I'm getting so sick and tired of this. They're still trying to do that Mansoor and Ali crap. It is just not working. I'm not a fan of it whatsoever. Mansoor went up against Mace, I believe it was one-on-one, and it was lame. Mansoor was able to pick up the victory, sneak a 1, 2, 3, but it still was lame. I was like, I don't care. I feel like I've seen these two same matches literally week after week after week. It is so dragged out and so just worn out and garbage. At the beginning, I'm like, okay, is Mansoor and Ali gonna jump in a tag team together? But it's just way too stretched out. Like, I do not care anymore. Moving over here, probably the lamest match of the night, Karrion Kross versus Jeff Hardy one-on-one. This was so freaking lame. Oh my gosh, so quick, so boring. In the end, Karrion Kross just locked in a submission and was able to pick up the victory by tap out. I'm like, that's Jeff freaking Hardy. What are you guys doing? Why are you guys putting him in these garbage matches, garbage storylines? Not even a storyline. So freaking lame. They're just so garbage. I cannot even get over that. Moving over here was a 2-on-1 handicap match. Veer and Shanky versus Drew McIntyre. If Veer and Shanky win. Oh no, if Drew McIntyre wins, then Veer and Shanky are barred at ringside for Jinder versus Drew at SummerSlam, which I'm not excited for. Of course, Jinder Mahal was able to pick up the victory with a Claymore kick, and he barred them from ringside coming up at SummerSlam. And then he basically just taunted Jinder Mahal with the sword. Nothing we haven't seen before. Super boring. Nikki Cross versus Rhea Ripley, closer to the beginning of the show, one-on-one match. Nothing too crazy. Again, another match where I'm just like, I am not interested in this. Rhea Ripley versus Nikki Cross. I feel like I've seen it a billion times because Raw does so many freaking rematches, and it's so freaking boring. But in the end, Charlotte just disqualified the match. We didn't get a winner, and then Rhea and Nikki Cross basically just teamed up on Charlotte. And then later in the show, it turned into a Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross versus Charlotte and a mystery opponent being Nia Jax. 2-on-2, super lame. In the end, Charlotte was able to just hit a natural selection and pick up the victory. I'm like, what? Come on. It's so boring. It was literally just so quick. It was a natural selection over. I'm like, what? And that's like Rhea Ripley, like what the crap. But I guess they want to make Charlotte look good in SummerSlam since she loses at SummerSlam. But yeah, that was pretty lame. Moving over here, it was Damien Priest versus The Miz. But before this match, we got our first ever episode of Moist TV with John Morrison. And John Morrison was really mad with The Miz that he didn't tell him that he wasn't injured. Well, he was injured, but not as long as he said he was. Morrison was pretty mad with him, so he's like, you know what, Priest? You get a match with The Miz. And then it was Priest versus The Miz, and obviously, Damien Priest was able to pick up the victory. But John Morrison left ringside. he left ringside. I'm like, whoa, this is interesting. We could get a Miz and Morrison rivalry, but instead of Miz turning on Morrison this time, Morrison turning on the Miz, like back in, I believe it was 2010 or 2009 maybe, somewhere around there. But yeah, Miz turned on Morrison back then, and we're getting sort of like a reverse here. But yeah, Priest was able to pick up the victory. We're going to get Sheamus versus Priest at SummerSlam, but then backstage later in the night, Morrison and Miz just make up just like that. And I'm like, what? No way. They could have made something so cool out of that. I don't think it's over between these two. I definitely think that Morrison and The Miz are going to have a rivalry, and Morrison's going to end up turning on The Miz. I think that would be so awesome. But yeah, as far as all that goes, kind of lame. Moving over here, oh my gosh, this was so annoying. Dude, Goldberg, Bobby Lashley face-to-face, WWE Championship coming up at SummerSlam. Literally, this promo was so freaking garbage. He had his son on ringside, and that kid, dude, if I was on ringside and my dad was in the ring, and he was like, yo, get up here, I'd be flipping out. This kid's just like, yeah, okay, yep. I'm just like, dude, it's so lame. Just so freaking lame. He ended up spearing Bobby Lashley with a super lame spear, and then basically just walked away with his son. I'm like, yeah, I'm not looking forward to their match. I really hope Bobby Lashley just destroys Goldberg and retires him, please. But yes, guys, that was Monday Night Raw, and as you guys know, I am not a fan of this show anymore. It used to be the top show of the week. It used to be. But yeah, this show has just gone to crap. In the end, I'm going to give this show probably a 1 out of 5. Just so bored throughout the entire thing. The only thing well, I'll give it a 2 out of 5, only because Randy and Riddle, I thought that stuff was pretty good. But as far as everything else goes, super boring. Let's jump into SmackDown. And continuing the weekend review here with SmackDown, we are going to jump right in. I know, the weekend review is coming out a little late than normal. Obviously, I'm pretty up to date on these, but of course, AEW Rampage did happen. I did go to that. Stay tuned for the vlog. The vlog's going to be dropping very, very soon on that. My reaction to the show, literally CM Punk and everything, so definitely stay tuned for that video. But in this, we are going to go over SmackDown just like we did with Raw, so let's bloody do it. Starting over here was Natalya and Tamina versus Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox. This match was nothing really crazy. I didn't really enjoy it too much, but it is cool to see Natalya back in the ring. Glad that her injury wasn't as bad as they said it was. That's pretty cool that she is back with her tag team partner Tamina. Even though the match didn't really end in their favor, Shotzi and Nox were able to pick up the victory over them, which I thought was kind of shocking. I thought Natalya being back, that was going to help Tamina pick up the victory against them, but I guess not. That'll definitely set up a tag team title opportunity for Shotzi and Nox in the future. As far as the match goes, pretty honestly kind of lame. I'm honestly really into this Otis and Chad Gable. This like turning Otis into a machine. I really like the concept of this. I think it's really cool. Otis went up against Montez Ford in a one-on-one match. And by the way, Montez Ford's attire, that was so cool with the shorts with the Street Profits on it. That was so freaking cool. Bill McCain, if you're watching this, I want that figure. I think that would be super cool with the red and the white. That was just so awesome. But yeah, anyways, Otis versus Montez Ford one-on-one. Otis basically squashed Montez Ford. I wouldn't say completely squashed, but Montez Ford did get a couple moves in, but Otis did basically squash him and made Otis look absolutely dominant, and I'm actually starting to like this. I think it's pretty freaking cool. Moving over here, it was Kevin Owens versus Bum Baron Corbin right here in a one-on-one match. I was looking forward to this. It was an okay match up until the ending. Big E just runs down and causes a disqualification on Baron Corbin. And I'm like, dude, no, come on. So he just ruined the match for Kevin Owens. And then they didn't even say anything about Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens just left the ring. I'm like, oh, they did have Kevin Owens dirty here. I didn't really like how they did Kevin Owens. But then Baron Corbin ended up sending Big E into the steel post, and he got the Money in the Bank contract in his possession again. So Baron Corbin still has his hands on the briefcase. So what is he going to do with that? Obviously, in the end, I think Big E's going to be able to steal that back. But that's basically confirming for SummerSlam that Big E's not going to be able to cash in because he doesn't have the contract in his possession, which is insane. Moving over here, it was Rey Mysterio versus Jey Uso one-on-one. Dominic did try to pull the trick again with the legs to support leverage for Rey Mysterio to pick up the victory, but it did not work out. The ref saw it this time. Charles Robinson, obviously a veteran, get to see everything that the superstars try to pull, and he did, and then he ejected Dominic, and then that was the ultimate culmination to Jey Uso losing to the frog splash from Jey Uso, and Rey Mysterio lost the match. So not really looking good for them going into SummerSlam, but you never know. Rey and Dominic could pick up those titles at SummerSlam tonight. It's going to be good. Check out the prediction video if you haven't already. Moving over here, this was kind of lame. I didn't really like this. Bianca Belair went up against Zelina Vega first, squashed her in a one-on-one match, and then she went up against Carmella back-to-back, and then I wouldn't say squashed Carmella, but she also beat Carmella. The matches themselves were just alright, but yeah, basically just making Bianca Belair look good going into SummerSlam. I would have rather had Bianca Belair have a promo with Sasha Banks. I think that would have been pretty good. Or some sort of face-to-face thing instead of Carmella and Zelina Vega. I just thought that was kind of lame. But anyways, it was just alright. Moving over here, it was Shinsuke Nakamura and the debut of Rick Boogs in the ring going up against Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz. And the way that they ended this match was so shocking. Rick Boogs and Apollo Crews were both in the ring, both legal men, and Rick Boogs, he had an abdominal stretch locked in, hitting the guitar moves, and then he turned it into a power slam and then pinned the former Intercontinental Champion Apollo Crews. I cannot believe that. I thought that was so interesting, so cool that they displayed Rick Boogs pretty good in his debut match. I thought that was really awesome, and then Shinsuke and him basically celebrated with Pat McAfee on the announcer's desk. I really enjoyed that, and I haven't really been enjoying what Rick Boogs and Shinsuke have been doing, but this is the first time I'm actually enjoying it. I thought that was pretty good. Moving over here, Edge, Seth Rollins, and obviously Edge was not wearing a CM Punk shirt, but I had to display it just a bit. But yes, Edge was out there. He was in opening promo. He's like, Seth Rollins is making me go to this dark place that I don't want to go in, and then all this. I'm looking forward to the match. It's going to be epic. But then later in the show, Seth Rollins has his promo, and he's like, Edge, he's out the loser. I'm in his head. And then Edge pops up on the screen with all this fiery design. I'm like, who is that? And I'm like, oh my God, that's Edge. I thought they were about to debut somebody else. I got Fiend vibes for a second. But then it was Edge, and then he was all demented, and then this black liquid fell from the ceiling on top of Seth Rollins, and then his white suit turned fully black and everything. It was insanity. And then that stuff was it was just so crazy. I was not expecting that whatsoever. But yeah, it was pretty freaking cool. Not bad at all. And honestly, to be honest, I would have given this build up a little more time because I love this rivalry, Edge and Seth Rollins. They have so much behind it. I just think they should have given it more time. They have given it a decent amount of time, but more build up would have been better because I love these two together in a storyline. I just think it's awesome. So hyped for their match. Moving into the main part of the show is a main promo. John Cena, Roman Reigns, right here in another promo here, which was freaking amazing. Obviously, I can never get enough of these two in the ring together. Obviously, back and forth. Cena talking about all it takes is 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns talking about how he's lying to the fans and this and that and filming movies. So freaking cool. But then it all ended with Roman Reigns saying, I walk out with the Universal Championship on Saturday, or I leave WWE. So that almost confirms that Roman Reigns is going to win the Universal title. There's no way he's leaving WWE. Oh my gosh. Literally, that's insane stakes added to that match, which I think is awesome. But then Reigns tried to drop Roman Reigns. Reigns tried to drop John Cena. More than likely with a Samoan drop, but it didn't really work out. And then Cena rolled him up. 1, 2, 3. Well, it didn't really hit 3, but I understand what Cena was trying to do. So that's really freaking cool. I just love the idea. It's so unique. I just thought that was such a cool idea that they had there. Because Cena's been talking about all it takes is 1, 2, 3, the mistakes, this past couple weeks, and dude, he just displayed it right here. I thought that was so freaking awesome how he did that. Just great way to end the show right there, man. Right there, Cena Reigns. So excited for the match at SummerSlam. But yes, guys, that was Smackdown. I thought it was a really solid show. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. That was really freaking good. I don't know if I'm overrating it there, but I really enjoyed this show. I don't know what it was about it. Some good promos, good matches, good build up to SummerSlam, and yeah, let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below, and stay tuned for more videos. We got the Rampage vlog dropping. We got the Survivor Series Elite set dropping. It's going to be epic. Stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time. BrettO Live out.